Kaduna State, located in the northwest of Nigeria, is regarded as the country's center of learning. Ironically, the events that led to a series of conflicts in the state can be translated into volumes of academic literature that could be studied. The crisis in Kaduna State has strained relationships and made the state to become the epicenter of deadly violence that have emerged the state into a humanitarian crisis. Most of the crises in Kaduna State could be attributed to factors such as ethnic differences, religious bigotry, and farmers and herders striving for land dominance. The Kaduna crisis dates back to 1981 when a land dispute between Hausa traders and residents of Adara in KAICIID local government area led to violent clashes. In 1986, a contest over the district headship of Lere in Lere local government area, where some locals were opposed of the candidature of a Muslim contestant, resulted in youth violence. And in 1987, a dispute erupted between students from different ethnic and religious groups at the College of Education Kafanchan, while in 1992, a market relocation sparked two riots in Zangon Kataf, which claimed hundreds of lives. The Miss World crisis in November 2002 was a series of religiously motivated crises in Nigerian city of Kaduna State, where at least more than 200 persons were killed. These crises became the catalyst of the Sharia conflicts in Nigeria, which began in 1999, where several predominantly Islamic northern states in Nigeria decided to introduce Sharia law. Furthermore, the deadly post-election crisis of 2011 in Kaduna State was another cause of concern, as places of worship were desecrated and scores of persons killed during the incident. These conflicts, which often center around ethnic and religious divisions, have caused mistrust, fear, and animosity between different communities and further polarized the society and made efforts towards peace building and reconciliation difficult. This house at Ngwandosa in Kaduna State used to be an Equa church where about 800 people converge every Sunday to worship. Unfortunately, following the series of crises that rocked the city center of Kaduna State, led to relocation of the church.
Behind me, it's a former place of worship that now has become residential. People gathered around this vicinity to worship. About 800, between 800 and 1,200 members gathered to worship in this place. But right now, because of the crisis, because of the situation, the church has been being sold, and the people had relocated to various parts of other environments in Kaduna.
Reverend Elijah Abubakar Dreams was an eyewitness of a bombing incident at St. Rita's Catholic Church in Gwandosa, where a suicide bomber detonated a bomb right in the middle of a Sunday service.
Within that period, when I was coming for service, it happened on Sunday morning. When I was coming to service, I had the bomb and I thought it was under my car. My family were inside. But a few minutes later, I realized that it wasn't under the car, it was St. Rita that was bombed. And the ceiling of this church literally came down within that period. That was the end of the service because we had to quit the service and start packing the injured to the hospital in order for them to be treated so that we can save life. That Sunday, there was no service within this vicinity.
Those of the Christian faith are not the only ones that have been affected by these insane religious conflicts in Kaduna State. Ahmed Mansir Imam, the deputy imam of the Kano Road Central Mosque, Kaduna. He narrates how the mosque was burnt in 2011 before it was later rebuilt.
The mosque was burned into ashes because we don't pray at that time. There is another, we have space there. One Alaji, an oil dealer, he built a small hall for us. There we relocated, praying. Then later, when this mosque reconstructed by His Excellency, then we are now praying here.
Mohammed Abdullahi is the owner of Igala in Kaduna State. He also explained how some worshippers in some churches at Abakpa were displaced.
It was almost the headquarters of KAICIID Church here. During the crisis of 2006, this place was burned to ashes and destroyed. No more worship here. And by now I can see some construction going on, which means the owners of the place must have sold it to somebody. The place was a very busy place. There was a unified Muslim and Christian environment. Their marriage lived peacefully before then.
Both Imam and Abdullahi agreed that most of the crises in Kaduna State were religiously motivated.
It's religious something, and youth. Sometimes, if something may happen in Sabon Tesha, then people here will react. If something happen, if there is fight here in Tudunwada, Kaduna, then Chukung or some areas will take over, and it's not good. It's not done in Islam.
It's not good for humanity, not even Christian and Muslim. There are other religions apart from Christian and Muslim, but humanity in general, the environment is not conducive because we must be interwoven, must be our brother's keeper. Our religion should not be a barrier to us because nobody judge what you are, nobody know how God is going to judge you. So what has happened that time has given us a great concern. We are only looking for a way of coming together and be united like we have before.
Despite the series of crises in Kaduna State, significant efforts have been made to address some of the factors that have emerged Kaduna State into a humanitarian crisis over the years. Notably among institutions that have in no small measure collaborated and made frantic effort in peace building and interreligious harmony in Kaduna State are the Kuka Center, Health, Justice, Development and Peace Kaduna, and the Global Peace Foundation, where youth, religious and traditional leaders are brought together to dialogue in order to find solutions to addressing these crises.
We are Muslims or non-Muslims, we all belong to the same family, that is the family of Adam and Eve. Therefore, we have to live our lives in accordance with the teachings, tenet and injunctions of the religion we have chosen to be practicing.
It's the same thing people use religion, it's the same thing people use tribe, it's the same thing people use all forms of identity. Kaduna people must wake up, rediscover their state, and resist those who are preaching division, who are now creating bigotry among us and making us begin to think others are supposed not to exist. Without others, we won't have Kaduna State.
And those who have hurt us, let's find a room to forgive them in our heart. Unconditional forgiveness to those who have hurt us. Only then can we have a future that is assured. Because if we live in unforgiveness, you are drinking poison. You expect somebody to die. It is you who your future, your state of mind, your state of peace will diminish.
So learn to think before you say anything. Otherwise, there will be no congregation for you if you're a religious leader, and there will be no country for you if you are politicians. And for the young people, it is enough of manipulating and mind control. Time has come that we should take our destiny in our hands and not wait to be told what to do. And I mean, Nigeria can be peaceful. If Nigeria is peaceful, Africa will be peaceful.
One name that stands out among the vanguard of peace building and reconciliation in Kaduna State is Father Sixtus Ladi Onu, who through his platform Health, Justice, Development and Peace has been promoting peace through interreligious dialogue among youth groups, women as well as religious and traditional leaders, especially within the Abakpa axis of Kaduna State.
We want to bring you here together as we have done in the past couple of months and years to talk about dialogue and peace, the things that can lead to peace and lead to mutual resistance and us living together, especially in Kaduna North.
For instance, between the 7th and 8th of July 2023, Father Sixtus Onu organized an intercultural and interreligious dialogue for 100 participants in Kaduna Central as part of the KAICIID Fellowship initiative on the need for people to interact and accept each other's differences for peaceful coexistence in Kaduna State.
So if we are aware of these differences, why the clashes? Why the conflict? Why the great animosity? Why the antagonism? Why these differences? These are the things we should be thinking about. If we want to be peace builders in our communities, we must improve or enhance our intercultural communication. It's very important. You should be different from somebody just outside, ignorant, that has no experience that you have. There should be differences. When you talk, your actions should differentiate you from somebody who have not had the opportunity that you have.
The diversity in culture, the diversity in religion, the confusion we see is part of the diversity and the identity that many people are yet to come to terms with.
The event, which was transmitted on national television as well as published on national dailies and online platforms, explains his commitment and passion towards ensuring lasting and enduring peace in Kaduna State.
As part of the one-year fellowship program that I am involved in, which started late last year, early January, we're taken to Kenya, African cohort. We're also in India in May. By the end of November/December, we'll be expected to be rounding off. And in order to qualify for the graduation, you need to carry out an initiative. So I decided that I would work on this, which you have seen today, intercultural and interreligious dialogue between people living in Abapa, in Kaduna North, most of Kaduna North, not just restricted to Abapa. And the essence is to gather people who have been torn apart by conflicts over time, to come to talk about the ways that will lead to peace, what are their fears, what are their worries, what are their anxieties. And I'm glad that we were able to gather 80 people plus. The target was to have 40 women and 40 young people, Christians and Muslims of equal number, and we got that. And I'm happy that they participated actively, and the facilitators also did very well.
The dialogue provided an avenue for participants to discuss and chart a course towards peaceful and harmonious living among the diverse groups in Kaduna State.
We all know that women play a critical role in the society. Look, coming from the home base, that society level. So if more women are aware and are trained on the peace building processes and dialogue processes, we are sure that a lot of crises will be subdued, because women know how to engage the youth because they are their children. They know how to engage the men, and they can have a very united front whenever there is any issue.
Dialogue in peace building and conflict resolution is the first, second, and last resort to finding lasting solutions in areas where there are challenges of peace, in areas where there's incessant conflicts between different communities for different reasons. So dialogue is very, very important in this regard.
With a lot of efforts being made by these gentleman priests to complement government efforts in promoting interreligious and interethnic harmony in Kaduna State, it now behoves on the government of the state to create sustainable policies and programs that will encourage sustainable media representation and promote diversity and avoid stereotypes in order to foster a more harmonious and inclusive society.
Peace in our